We've seen a lot of roguelike games with a retro style to them over the last few years, and there's a new one though called Flinthook now out on the PS4. But does this one have the ability to grapple its way to the top, or does this one just end up crashing and burning? Flinthook is one of those roguelike randomly generated games, but instead of having a top-down perspective like we see so often, it is thankfully a 2D side-scrolling style of game. You play as a main character who has a flintlock pistol and a grappling hook to aid him while traveling through the levels. In the game, you're playing as a character who's trying to save the galaxy and thrall off evil, and to do so, you're going to have to take on bounties. Basically, you'll select a bounty, then you have to go through a series of randomly generated levels in order to get items at the end of each that you feed to a compass that then tells you where the boss is, and then you finally can go and fight them. Basically, to get these items, though, you'll have a selection of 3 different ships to board. They give you a little bit of information and the difficulty of the ships. You select which one you want to go, then you go and complete it, and once you do that, you'll have 3 more to choose from. You keep going until you have enough of the item to find the boss, and then you have to take them on. You have to do this, though, all in a single run, so you have 1 health bar that you'll have to deal with, and you have to go through all the levels and finally defeat the boss in order to get a successful run. If you die at any point during the course of it, even at the boss, it's game over and you have to start the bounty over from the beginning again. The way that the levels are set up though, you're going to be platforming and exploring each of the ships, room by room, going through. A lot of times you'll run into a trap room where you have to face off against a series of enemies, defeat them all, and then you'll be able to select where you want to go to next. There's tons of hazards like spikes and fire, cannonballs, and acid that will try to stop you and damage you. Thankfully, there is a decent amount of health you will gain throughout the course of the levels, but it's still very easy to get ganged up on enemies as you don't have a whole lot of invulnerability time between hits, so your health can get drained pretty fast. What makes the platforming though and traveling through these areas so fun is the grappling hook. You have the ability to wall jump and you'll have to do that quite a lot, but almost every one of the areas you'll go to have hooks all throughout, and you can easily aim and throw out your grappling hook with the R2 button in order to swing your way up and get the different locations and quickly outmaneuver your opponents. You also have the cool ability to slow time down for a brief moment, which will allow you to get past certain enemy traps, be able to take down certain enemy shields, or just give you a few breathing moments so that you can better adjust to the situation at hand when it comes to dealing with enemies. This ends up making the game a lot of fun to play. Once you kind of get the handle on how the action works and get that grappling hook working, timing your slowdown at the right point so you're able to hit your enemies, it can become a blast to explore each area, even if you end up seeing a lot of the same enemies, the same room designs, and the same setups. It does start to get a bit bland looking, but the action still remains fun. Then when you finally make it to that boss fight, things are extremely intense, especially after a longer bounty, because you don't want to have to do everything over again, so you're going to do everything in your power to make sure you're able to survive that fight, and this ends up being the most rewarding part of the game when you finally take out a bounty. As you keep going through the game, completing more bounties, you'll unlock new stuff that you'll be able to buy in the shop, as well as harder versions of the bounties once you complete them for the first time. From the technical side of things, though, the game ran smoothly. I didn't run any major glitching, crashing, or slowdown of any sort, and I have to say the soundtrack's awesome. There's some really good retro music here, just added to the list of some of the best ones I've played in the last few months. Flinthook is available now on the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Steam, and it does feature a full trophy list including a Platinum on the PS4. While I think the market is saturated with roguelike games like this, Flinthook is a pretty darn good one. In fact, between this and Neurovoider are the 2 favorite of mine that I played in the last few months. Overall, with everything said, I'm going to be giving Flinthook an 8 out of 10. But anyway guys, that's going to wrap up this review. I'd like to thank you for watching, and of course, I hope you enjoyed.